What's up, everyone? This is Dr. James DiNicolantonio, and a question I constantly get asked is how much salt should I consume if I'm starting a low-carb diet or if I want to fast? So let's break down some of the studies and I'll give you some guidelines. So when you fast or when you go on a low-carbohydrate diet, insulin levels drop and you actually start losing salt, essentially sodium and chloride, out in the urine. In other words, even though, let's say you're fasting and you're not consuming any salt, you will lose 2 grams of sodium every single day for the first week. And you still lose about 1.5 grams even beyond that week, even though you're not consuming any salt. So in other words, most people need at least 2 grams of sodium per day just to prevent the additional salt loss that occurs in the urine when they're fasting. Most people thus they may need to actually add 2 grams of sodium to their normal intake so they don't feel like they're gonna pass out. Now, on a low carbohydrate diet, most people lose about 3 grams of sodium day 1, then they lose about 2 grams day 2, and then on day 3 and beyond, about 0.5 gram to 1 gram of sodium. In other words, you typically add that to your normal intake in order to feel like you're not going to pass out. And this is known as the keto flu when you first start a low carbohydrate diet. Now, 2 grams of sodium is just under 1 teaspoon of salt. So that's what you typically lose in the urine every single day when you're fasting. And on day 1 of a low carb diet, you lose between 2 and 3 grams of sodium, which is essentially 1 or 1 1/4 teaspoons of salt on day 1. And then by day 2, that's usually just 2 grams or just under 1 teaspoon of salt. And then by day 3, you're really only at about losing maybe 1 gram of sodium, which is just under 1/2 teaspoon of salt. But typically that's what you need to add in addition to your normal intake so you don't feel like you're gonna pass out.